In the bustling town of Ota, there lived a young man named Bode. He was tall, dark, and had a smile that could even melt the heart of his stone-hearted landlord. But there was not just any man. He was the most sought-after graphic designer in the entire Ogun State. But apart from being a master with designs, he was also a master with women. Every woman who sat in his office chair somehow ended up sitting in his house before graduating to his bed. He had a way with words, a charm that made women feel like they were the only one, even though they were definitely not. But his life was well organized. He had a roster, Shadi, the one who always cooked for him. Her egusi soup could make a man propose by accident. Isioma, the one who handled his laundry. She washed and ironed his clothes so well. Tolu, the prayer warrior, but they knew he needed someone to be shouting back to sender on his behalf. Ngozi, the fun one, always ready to go clubbing. She could turn up anywhere, even at funeral, if given the chance. Funke, the rich one. She always sent him money, and the ones he has intelligently discharged after successfully connecting his Bluetooth. Life was sweet until his mother interfered. Mama Bode was a no-nonsense woman from Ijebu Ode. She was tired of hearing people whisper that her son was still single. Every time she goes to the market, someone will say, Mama Bode, when are you inviting us to eat rice and chicken at your son's wedding? One day, she called him like the world was going to end. Bode, come home immediately. It's urgent. But they panicked. Urgent? What has happened again? He rushed home with his mind going zigzag in thoughts. When he arrived, his mother was all smiles. Before he could even sit, a young woman walked in with a tray of amala and ewedu soup. Bode, meet your wife, his mother introduced. Bode blinked. My what? The girl Ajoke dropped the tray and greeted shyly. Bode, say something, his mother pressed. Bode finally found his voice. Mommy, I think my network is bad. Did you just say wife? Yes, my son. You see, Ajoke has been the one helping me here. She's hardworking, respectful, and most importantly, she can cook. Not like those city girls that only know how to order food online. Ajoke smiled sweetly. Ekule o, my husband. Bode nearly choked on air. He turned to his mother. Mom, I beg. Which network did you use to download a Wi-Fi for me? Because I didn't sign up for this subscription. Mama Bode ignored him. My dear, sit close to your husband, she instructed the lady. Ajoke shyly moved towards him, but Bode gave her a sharp look that said, Don't try it. I have zero tolerance to nonsense. Ajoke, understanding the warning, quickly stood up. Let me check something in the kitchen. As she ran off, Mama Bode clapped her hands. Bode, I know you like her. Don't worry. I will meet her father tomorrow so we can conclude the marriage before someone else takes her. Bode gasped. Mommy, are we selling fuel? Why the rush? His mother just smiled. My dear, love waits for no man. Bode held his head. Like, is my plain career about to be cut short like a bad haircut? But this will never happen. He looked for a quality lie and escaped as he sat in his car gripping the steering wheel like a man who had just been sentenced to life in prison for a crime he didn't commit. He remembered the reason his mother called him home. Me, marry a village wife? Me, Bode the designer. My mother had finally lost it. She wants me the most sought after designer, the fresh boy of Ogun State, the prince of faith to marry a village champion. No, never. By the time he reached home, his head was still hot. He needed Sade, his very own personal peace ambassador. The woman with no stress, no drama, just vibes and soft whispers of body. Let me rub your head whenever he was troubled. The moment she arrived, she noticed his mood. Body, what happened? Why is your face like burnt dodo? Bode exhaled deeply. Sade, you won't believe it. My mother tried to force a wife for me. Sade's eyes widened. So what did you do? My dear, I ran for my life. Do I look like someone who is ready to settle down? Imagine me, Bode, tying myself down to one woman at the peak of my career. Sade laughed. Bode, but you know one day you will have to marry. He rolled his eyes. Yes, I know that for sure, but not a village girl that thinks WhatsApp is a type of greeting. The two of them laughed. And just like that, Sade did what she knows how to do best by helping him forget his problems. The next morning, however, Bode knew it was time to discharge her. He had to think of a good excuse. As she stretched lazily on the bed, he cleared his throat. Sade, my dear, I just remembered I have a conference today. She frowned. Conference? Since when did you start attending conferences? Sade, since today. At least there is a first time to everything. Besides, this one is international. They are bringing designers from all over the world to discuss new designs. Even a Japanese designer is coming to teach us the samurai design. Sade looked at him suspiciously, but then she sighed. Okay, let me freshen up and go. But they breathed a sign of relief. His escape strategy was successful. Just as he was feeling free again, his phone rang. It was his mother. Mama, what happened? He groaned. My dear, how are you? She asked sweetly. Mama, I am fine. Good. Thank God you are fine because your wife is coming to visit you today. Which wife? Ajoke, of course. She's already on her way to Ota with her bag. There was a great silence before Bode spoke up. Mama, what bag? Her bag of clothes, my dear. She'll be staying with you for a while. Bode nearly swallowed his tongue. Mama, you sent her to my house? Yes, my son. You rejected her in the village, so I'm bringing her to you. Love must find you, whether you like it or not. But they stood up panicking. This was indeed trouble knocking. He immediately called his best friend Tunde. My guy, there is fire on the mountain. I mean, real problem. My mother has sent that village girl to my house. Tunde burst into laughter. Bode the player, your time for marriage has come. Tunde, stop laughing now. Help me. What do I do? Tunde thought for a moment. Alright, just travel. Disappear before she arrives. Bode nodded. Brilliant. I would say I'm going on a business trip. He quickly called his mother, though she doubted. But Bode, who is gifted with words, found a way to convince her. Just as he was celebrating his victory, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Oma. Good afternoon, dear. I'm almost at your house. I can't wait to see you. He read the message again. Maybe his eyes were malfunctioning. Good afternoon, dear. I am almost at your house. I can't wait to see you. His hands began to shake. His soul attempted to leave his body, but he dragged it back. Who is Oma? I mean, is Oma? And whose house is she coming to? He started pacing up and down his room like a goat that had just seen fire. His mind went into emergency mode. He started scanning through his mental database of women he had collected like Pokemon cards. Oma, 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 Oma. Then it hit him. Oma, the girl from 3 months ago. The one he has talked with, baby, you are my oxygen, and without you, my heart will malfunction. All because he wanted her. But they grabbed his head. This was the problem with being a part-time sweet talker. Now, the pass had come with a receipt. Just then, his phone rang. Oma calling. He screamed internally. Should I pick? Should I pretend I am now a monk with no access to worldly things? Before he could decide, another message dropped. Baby, I bought a surprise for you. I know you will be so happy. But this leg started shaking. Who sent this one message? Do I look like someone who needs surprises? At that moment, he heard it, a loud knock at his gate. But then, my love, I am here. His spirit left his body, took one look at the situation and refused to return. He tiptoed to the window, peeped outside and saw something that almost made him collapse. Oma stood at the gate, grinning from ear to ear like a new bride. Her voice rang out again. Babe, open the gate now. He ran to his mirror and stared at himself. Is this how this game will end, just like that? The knocks became louder and a new message from Chacha popped in. Babe, I am in a taxi with your surprise, almost at your house. I miss you. But they fell to the ground. He looked at the ceiling, at his phone, at the gate, then at his life choices. His hands trembled as he picked up his phone again. Maybe, just maybe, his eyes had deceived him. But no, the message was still there. But this soul left his body. His heart pounded like a talking drum. He tried to stand, but his legs refused to cooperate. He reached for his bottle of water and gulped it down. Maybe if he drank enough, he would evaporate. Before he could process this impending disaster, another message popped up. This time from Shade. Bobomi, I just left the market like now. I bought your favorite soup ingredients. I am coming over to cook for you. Hope you are home. But they screamed. At this point, his village people had succeeded. 3 women all coming to his house at the same time. He jumped to his feet, his brain working overtime. He had only 2 options: run or stay to face the consequences of his foolishness and prepare for his funeral. But before he could choose, there was a knock at the gates. This time, louder. Then his phone buzzed again. He turned to his window like a Nollywood ghost. Slowly he peeped, and there they were, Oma smiling like a woman who had found true love. Chacha saying, Babe, open the gate, it's me. And Shade saying, Bobomi, I know you are home. Open up. But they broke into a cold sweat. He looked around, searching for an escape route, but life became wicked. There was nowhere to run to. And then the funny thing happened. Oma turned to Chacha and asked, Who are you looking for? Chacha raised a brow. I should be asking you that. Who are you looking for? But this soul did a backflip hearing them. And before he could even pray for a miracle, Shade stepped forward. Wait, why are we all knocking on Body's gate? There was a great silence. Bode collapsed into his couch with his hands on his head. He screamed, "It is over." His heart began slamming against his ribs. Oma, Chacha, and Shade, three women, all standing outside his gate, demanding answers. He swallowed hard. His throat was drier than harmattan breeze. From the tiny gap in his window, he could see them eyeing each other suspiciously. And then Oma spoke. "Who exactly are you two looking for?" she asked, her voice as smooth as silk, but laced with quiet danger. Then Shade the peacemaker tried to ease the tension. "Wait, hold on. Maybe we are all here for different reasons. I am looking for my Bobo, my sweetheart, and my love." But they felt his intestine shift. Oma raised a brow. "Excuse me? Your sweetheart?" Shade blinked. "Yes, now." Chacha crossed her arms. "That's funny, because my sweetheart lives here." This has become a movie. Oma turned slowly to the gate. She knocked harder this time. "Bode, open this gate." Bode stopped breathing. His brain was in overdrive, calculating escape routes. Option 1, to jump the fence. Big risk because his neighbor's dog, Thunder, had been waiting for this moment his entire life. Option 2 was to fake his own death. It won't work because Nigerian women don't believe in ghosts. They will still ask for explanations in the afterlife. Then finally, option 3, to come out clean and explain to them. The worst of it all, because permanent damage will be placed to his face because they will surely panic beat him. As he was contemplating his miserable fate, his phone vibrated. He nearly screamed. It was his mother calling. "My son, how are you? When will you be back?" Body nearly collapsed. "Mama, not now," he said almost in a whisper and dropped the call. Another loud knock snatched him back to reality. Then the nightmare got worse. Oma turned to Chacha. "You, where do you know Bode from?" Chacha folded her arms. I should be asking you that." Shade sighed. "See, let's not fight. Maybe this is all a misunderstanding." Oma narrowed her eyes. "A misunderstanding? So Bode invited all of us here at the same time to do what exactly? My friend, is it for Bible study?" Then Chacha gasped. Wait. Don't tell me." She pointed at Oma. "Are you not his cousin?" Oma frowned. "Which cousin again? God forbid, I'm his fiancé." The ground shifted beneath Bode's feet. Chacha snapped her fingers. "Lie! You, his fiancé? I saw your picture on his phone. I just placed a bell on your face. And he said you were his cousin." Oma's eyes nearly popped out. "Me, his cousin?" But they nearly burst into tears. He was just saying, "Chacha, keep quiet there. You talk too much." Then Chacha let out a bitter laugh. "Wait first. So we all are dating the same body?" Oma turned to Shade. Shade turned to Chacha. And Chacha turned to Oma. Then slowly they all turned to the gate. Oma cracked her knuckles. Chacha removed her earrings. Isioma tightened her clothes. And then Chacha spoke. "Bode, you have 5 seconds to open these gates." Bode could already hear his funeral soundtrack playing in the background. He then turned to God. If he had ever owed him a miracle, now was the time to cash it in. 5, 4, he ran to the back door. 3, he grabbed his slippers. Two, he whispered, God, I beg. One, with full force, they were shaking the gate. And then, bang, the gate flew open. But they ran like his life depended on it. His legs moved at the speed of regret. His heart pounded like a generator on its last drop of fuel. Behind him, he heard war cries. Catch him! His three former sweethearts now transformed into Olympic sprinters, but they regretted everything. He regretted his life choices. He regretted renting a house in an estate where people minded their business. He regretted not eating breakfast because if he was going to die, at least his stomach should be full. He kept running, but his enemies, they were gaining on him. Oma was running like a gym instructor, closing the gap. Chacha was running like an ex-athlete, picking up speed. Shade, the market woman, was removing her slippers, and we all know that's a dangerous sign. But they panicked. He tried to turn a sharp corner, but his slippers betrayed him. He slipped, fell, and rolled. He landed into shaded tomatoes. The owner, Mama Teju, screamed, Jesus, Bode, have you joined Yahoo? Bode couldn't reply. His mouth was full of crushed tomatoes and regrets. Before he could even think of escaping again, strong hands grabbed his collar. The three warriors, they stood over him like three judges at the gates of hell. But they tried to smile. Ladies, my queens, my angels, let's talk about this. Oma cracked her knuckles. Oh, we will talk. Chacha pulled out her phone. Let's even record this talk so you won't forget. Shade, still holding her slippers, gave a wicked smile. Better start explaining now. But they swallowed hard. This was it. This was how men ended up in motivational quotes. He couldn't believe it. A whole hymn. The man, the myth, the legend reduced to a local tomato-splattered mess. Oma, Chacha, and Shade stood over him like three angry deities deciding his fate. The Council of Esses. His mind raced. He needed an escape plan. But there was nowhere to run to. He was trapped between the gutter and his past sins. Oma crossed her arms. Bode, talk before I rearrange your destiny. Bode cleared his throat. My queens, my loves, my... Shade raised her slippers. He instantly changed direction. My sisters in Christ. Chacha hissed. Sisters in where? Bode, don't let me slap the remaining hairline off your head. Bode panicked. He had to lie. But which lie? Which lie was strong enough to save his life today? Then it hit him. The most powerful force on earth. Tears. He started crying loudly. It is a spiritual attack. Oma, Chacha, and Shade froze. Bystanders gathered. Even Mama Teju, still holding her ruined tomatoes, looked interested. But they grabbed his head dramatically. Since last night, I have not been myself. I have been seeing visions, strange visions. Chacha raised an eyebrow. Which kind of human being be this? But they sniffed. A tall man in a red suit came to me in my dream. He said, Bode, if you don't change your ways, 3 women will come for you in the morning. Shade blinked. Bode continued, shaking his head like a Nollywood actor. I thought it was just a dream. But see, it has happened exactly as he said. The crowd gasped. Mama Teju held her chest. Oh, mommy, this is not ordinary, oh. But they nodded aggressively. Yes, ma, it is not. Oma, however, was not impressed. So the vision did not show you how to stop chasing women up and down? But they wiped his fake tears. Oh, my dear, I have changed. I have repented. I am now a new man in Christ. Chacha rolled her eyes. Body, please, we know you. But they placed a dramatic hand on his chest. I swear on my late grandfather's remaining teeth. Shade, who has been quiet, then said, Girls, enough of this public show. We are too big for this nonsense. Let's drag him home. But they froze. This was the part he had been avoiding. He laughed nervously. Oma, Chacha, and Shade all looked at each other. Then they turned to him, holding his hands, and told him to cooperate. As they got to Body's place, he saw something that almost made his soul leave his body. A beautiful basket was placed by his door. This wasn't a hamper gift. This has a baby in it with a note. Oma read it out loud. Dear Sugar Zaddy, I have traveled. Take care of our son. His name is Toby. Enjoy fatherhood. Make sure you do take care of him or I will make you regret it. The guest exploded. Eh? But his legs went weak. He had been expecting many things. Resetting slaps. Yes. Punches. Yes. Pinches. Yes. An argument. Maybe. But fatherhood? Hey, no. He almost collapsed. A baby? Where? How? How did this happen? He whispered to himself, blinking as he tried to piece things together. Who has left this baby here? Chacha hissed. But they screamed. He looked around wildly. Whose baby is this now? Shade shrugged. Yours now? But they felt darkness creeping in. It's a lie. Oma nodded. Then do a DNA test. He froze. He couldn't because somehow deep in his spirit, he knew that he was the father of the child. He looked at the baby. The baby smiled and he saw his own dimples on the child's face. The ladies were still there. All of them had crossed their arms, watching him with a mixture of annoyance, concern, and something close to pity. Their faces mirrored judgment, but also strangely understanding, like they never saw this coming. But they still couldn't gather his bearings. How was he going to explain this? A baby dropped off at his frontage like a forgotten package, and for all he knew, it might be his baby. The resemblance was too strong to ignore, but he had no idea who the mother was. His mind raced back. He had been a serial player, the kind of guy who walked into every situation thinking he could charm his way out of anything. He had done this dance with so many women over the years. Was one of them finally dropping the bomb on him? Had he gotten someone pregnant without even knowing it? Was this baby a blowback from his careless ways? His face turned pale. What kind of madness is this? He read the note again, hoping it would somehow make more sense. But no, it didn't. The words were like a curse that had been thrown into his life. And now he was the one stuck holding the burden. Shade was the next to speak. Bode, this isn't your usual game anymore. A life is now in your hands. So here comes the end of your dirty games. You can't eat your cake and have it. With this, the girls left, thanking God for their lives and for making them escape one chance and a lifetime bombshell. But they wanted to run. He wanted to pretend none of this was happening, but he couldn't. The baby was there staring at him with wide, trusting eyes, as though he had known that he was the one to care for him. He carried him inside, called his mother, and narrated his frying pan to fire story, and then he concluded with, "I didn't sign up for this, mommy." His mom spoke with sympathy, but her tone was firm. "You never sign up for anything, do you? You think life is all about your games, your fun, and your freedom. Well, guess what? Life has other plans for you now. That baby is your responsibility. And buddy, nothing must happen to my child. Nothing must happen to my grandchild. But I don't even know who the mother is," Buddy snapped, feeling like his brain was going to explode. "Okay. So you have been playing around with women for ages. No wonder you outrightly rejected Ajoke. Now you have gotten your package. Marry this decent girl that I've been observing for a long while. No! You said you were not ready for marriage, but your third leg wasn't rested, doing only what married people were supposed to do. And do it, my darling. You are an adult." With this, she hung up. For the first time, Buddy felt something stir inside him, something he hadn't felt in years, which is responsibility. It was like a cold wave crashing all over him, but it didn't make him feel weak. Instead, it made him feel alive and alert. He had been avoiding this moment for so long, but now it was staring him in the face. He dropped to his knees in front of the baby, who let out a soft giggle, almost like he knew he was finally coming in terms with the truth. "Okay, I am going to do this." He wasn't sure how or where to begin, but he knew he had to start. "Now you are a father, whether you like it or yes. So figure it out," he told himself. His life took a turn that no one could have predicted, not even Buddy himself. He had been the king of his carefree world, a prince of irresponsibility, but the universe had other plans for him. Now, here comes the real shaggy. The baby with his innocent eyes and a determined will to make him face the consequences had just delivered the most dramatic dose of karma he could ever imagine. First, he pulled and it leaked out from the diaper. At first, Bode was completely lost. He had no idea what he was supposed to do. He didn't know how to change his diapers or even how to carry him with such a mess without feeling like it was going to slip through his fingers. And the baby was giving him a bombastic side eye, like, "My friend, clean me up so I can be fresh again." The first night was the hardest. He barely slept as the baby's cries echoed through the apartment. He had tried everything he could think of, but nothing worked. Every time he tried to get some sleep, the baby seemed to crank up the volume of his cries like a professional opera singer performing in a concert hall. "Why do you think this will be easy?" he had asked the baby as he tried rocking him. "I am not cut out for this. I am a man, not a babysitter." But the baby wasn't having it. He wasn't interested in his self-pity or his tired excuses. He just stared up at him with those wide, judgmental eyes, as though he was saying, "You made this mess. Now clean it up, you big baby." But they had no choice but to rise to the occasion. The following day, he called his mother, though she had made it clear that she wasn't going to raise the baby for him. "But don't even think about giving up. You are a father now, whether you like it or yes. Learn the basics. Practice, they say, makes perfect." How does anyone do this? I can't even figure out how to put a diaper on him properly. The baby is already smarter than me. You wanted to play around? Now here is your reward. You've got a baby to take care of. You better step up or you will be a walking zombie in no time, his mother replied. But they sighed deeply. I didn't ask for this. I just wanted a few drinks, maybe a few dates. Now I am looking after a tiny human who is giving me grief every 5 minutes. Yes. Well, you've got more than you bargained for, his mother teased. This baby is your new boss. You just have to learn how to work for him. If he says stand up and carry me, just obey. If he says no work today, then you better shut your laptop. Mind you, you need to work harder now because baby milk is not baby. I love you more than my mother, or those your numerous lies that you told his mother. Mama Bode wasn't helping matter at all. Bode regretted why he called her in the first place. The baby on his part gave him a suspicious look that could only be described as judgmental, as if saying, "You don't even know what you are doing, do you?" Then it was feeding time, but they managed to prepare the baby bottle sort of and thought he was finally on the right track. But the baby, in true form, decided to spit up in the most dramatic manner possible, drenching him with milk. I give up, but they shouted, looking up to the heavens as if seeking divine intervention. Who told me to live this crazy life? This child has come with my reward. Then came the baby's latest trick, a mini tantrum that would have made a toddler from a reality show look like a model student. It wasn't just the usual crying. Oh no, this was a full-blown performance. The baby threw his tiny hands in the air, kicked his legs, and even managed to look like he was throwing Bode an angry glare. It was then Bode had an epiphany. This baby is not just a baby. This is my forefather teaching me lessons, real life lessons. The first lesson came quickly: responsibility. He spent the next few weeks learning how to manage his time. He couldn't keep playing video games until 2 a.m. anymore. And those late night hangouts, they became a thing of the past. Instead, his evenings now consisted of feeding the baby, learning how to change diapers without needing a YouTube tutorial, and most importantly, figuring out how to get a solid 3 hours of sleep because that's all he could get before the baby's next tantrum. But they also started cleaning up his act. He stopped going out to the club like a regular. The baby's presence reminded him that there was something bigger than himself now, something that needed him whether he was ready or not. Slowly but surely, he found himself less focused on his old habits of reckless fun. His friend couldn't believe the transformation. Bode, is this really you? Tunde asked one evening when he stopped by to check on him. You are looking so different. Bode smiled sheepishly, holding the baby in his arm as if he had been doing it for years. He didn't have any answer. He only wished he was responsible. This was how Bode lived his life. He decided to take to the social media, sharing his experiences with his followers. He made videos and wrote posts about the life-changing transformation he had gone through, which was nothing short of a miracle according to his new perspective. One of his most popular posts went like this: "Guys, I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't be like me. Don't live like I did, thinking life is all about looking good, spending money, having several women in your life, calling it all fun, and avoiding responsibility. 1 minute you are at the bar with your crew, and the next minute you've got a mini human in your arms staring at you like you are the biggest joke of all time. Don't let that happen to you. Respect yourself. Zip your trousers. If you don't, Then be ready to welcome your package after 9 months. And the babies of this age know what they are doing. They will teach you the lesson you never knew you needed. Trust me, I am speaking from experience. He followed up with a selfie holding the baby and hashtag that's life, laughing at the fact that he had turned into the very thing he used to joke about. His followers were shocked, but most of them applauded him for owning up to his mistakes. Hey, African Tales by Karma Tribe, how are you all doing? Before I go today, I would like to drop this. Don't be a player, whether as a woman or as a man. Life isn't about playing games with people's hearts. Whether you like it or not, your actions will catch up with you one day. And trust me, karma doesn't play. Life will teach you one way or the other. Sometimes with circumstances that will teach you more about life than you can ever imagine. Finally, whatever you are doing, let the word of God be your anchor. You can never obey God's word and live in regrets. Never. Let me share this with you. One of my neighbors in the year 2017, she was keeping different partners at the same time. So one fateful day, the person who paid for her house rent came over to spend the night. My sister and I didn't know who informed another one, that's the second guy, that a guy spent the night in your girl's house. So as early as 5 a.m., the second guy was by her door knocking. Children of God, come and see drama. My younger sister and I had a very good laugh. It was a Sunday morning. The guy had a house arrest. That's the one who paid for the house rent. He was in the house, and according to the girl, she told us later that he was begging her to go into the bathroom. To walk into the bathroom just for peace to reign, because the second guy came for war. He came for war. He was fully ready, and he will beat the other guy blue black because he was huge. He was bigger than that guy. Come on now, tell me. There is nothing good in keeping different partners. You will just end up disgracing yourself. Oh, ha. Look for someone by the leading of the Holy Spirit and just settle down, shikina, and live a decent life. Decency pays. I know we have experiences because these things happen. They are very common. Please, my dear, let me read from you with the comment section because I want to have a very good laugh. Come on, let's do this. If you have not loved the story, what are you waiting for? Give it a thumbs up and please share out to your loved ones. If you love what Kama is doing and you wish to support me, kindly use the link on my bio or the link on the description of this video to buy me coffee. Until I bring another exciting story your way, it is a goodbye from here and God bless you.